Today's featured designs are your crazy is showing, you might want to tuck that back in, and it's easier to deceive the sheeple than to convince them that they've been deceived. Your purchase helps support the channel, and your link is in the description and in the pinned comment.
We're so excited about this segment. We have Tom Hanks. He's going to be joining us live.
We're so excited about this segment.
Tom Hanks is joining us live. I'm so excited. Woo!
It was a tweet that shook the world. Back in March, Tom Hanks posted that he and wife Rita Wilson had been diagnosed with coronavirus while filming in Australia.
Tweet that shook the world? I don't remember it being that significant to me. Hey, baby, you remember Tom Hanks' tweet that shook the world?
No, baby, I don't remember no tweet that shook the world.
No, I didn't think so.
I have been the celebrity canary in the coal mine for the coronavirus.
Guys, it is so fortunate for us when a lot of us just aren't complying and stepping in line with the lying, psychopathic government agents and teleprompter reading misfits over at mainstream media that there's always a good old virtue signaling Hollywood actor there to chastise us verbally and give us a strong whiff of the smelling salts of reality. Okay, before I get into this video, you guys got to check out and pick up at least one of these solar power cells. It's portable, it's durable, and it's reliable. And if you don't have a wall outlet to charge it up, you can always throw it out in the sun and let the sun do the charging for you. It's got two outlets so you can power two devices at once. It keeps a charge for a long time, and it's got a cool flashlight that stays on forever. My link with your discount code is in the description below. Well, the Los Angeles Times wants us to know that Tom Hanks is baffled by people who don't take CV-19 seriously. Why? Because it's killing people. Now, nothing in this video is to be construed as my opinion. I'm simply reading an article, and then we're going to go over here, and we're going to try to read what some people are saying under this Twitter post from the Los Angeles Times. First, the story. COVID-19 survivor, Tom Hanks, has a message for everyone unwilling to do their part, or in the words of Bernie Sanders, pay their fair share.
Their fair share.
To stop the spread of the respiratory illness. Appearing Tuesday on NBC's Today, Hanks reflected on his own early bout with the coronavirus and questioned why some weren't taking the pandemic seriously. Maybe that's because, according to James Ballard, it's not a pandemic, it's a plandemic. He says it's an organized, planned, partial shutdown of the U.S. economy in the second quarter. That's James Ballard from the St. Louis Federal Reserve. Planned and organized are his words, not mine. He also discussed his forthcoming World War II drama, Greyhound, which debuts on Friday on Apple TV+. Quote, "We don't know what's going to happen with COVID-19. The idea of doing one's part, though, should be so simple. Wear a mask, social distance, wash your hands. That alone means you are contributing to the betterment of your house, your work, your town, your society as a whole." And what does that imply? That implies that if you don't do your part, if you don't comply, if you don't obey the orders of the government and mainstream media, then you're not doing anything to the betterment of your house, your work, your town, or your society as a whole. As a matter of fact, in their mind, you are putting those people in danger. And it's such a small thing. It's a mystery to me how somehow that has been wiped out of what should be ingrained in the behavior of us all. Guys, they want us to behave a certain way. They don't want you to behave in your way. They want you to behave in their way. Though Hanks and his wife, actress Rita Wilson, were in awfully good hands and not afraid after testing positive for CV-19, he didn't want to dismiss the severity of their symptoms. The pair became the first major stars to go public while visiting in Australia for an upcoming movie. "We felt rotten," Hanks said. "I had body aches, crippling, cracking body aches. The Australian officials put us in the hospital. They kept very strict attention on our fevers because if they had spiked, we were going to be in trouble. Our lungs, because if they had filled up or scarred, we were going to be in trouble. And the levels of our oxygen." Although the screen icon believes, not knows, believes, the vast majority of Americans understand the importance of protecting themselves and others from CV-19, he didn't mince words when laying out the dangers some have chosen to ignore. Look, there's no law against ignorance. It's not illegal to have opinions that are wrong. What's Tom Hanks saying there? My opinions are right. Your opinions, if your opinions rival or come against my opinions, your opinions are wrong. But there's a darkness on the edge of town here, folks, and let's not confuse the facts. It's killing people. Yeah, that's right. It's killing people. You need to take this serious. You need to do something and take steps for the betterment of society. If you don't care about society, and you're putting public health in jeopardy. You can say, well, traffic accidents kill an awful lot of people too. A traffic accident happens because a lot of drivers aren't doing their part. I don't know how common sense has somehow been put in question. Here's how, Tom. When a traffic accident happens and a person dies as a result of it, you know exactly why they died. But when somebody dies in a traffic accident and receives on their birth certificate that the cause of death is 19, there's no reason for that. It's bizarre. It's crazy. And you got to ask questions. You got to stop and ask questions. And then he talks more about the movie. Let's go underneath the tweet from the Los Angeles Times and see what people are saying about good old Tom Hanks. First reply, can't say that word right there. Why was Tom Hanks in Epstein's flight logs? There's a good question for you today's show. How come you didn't ask Tom Hanks why he appeared in Jeffrey Epstein's flight logs? Why didn't you ask him if he hung out with Jeffrey Epstein? Why didn't you ask him if he spent any time and how much time did he spend on Pedophile Island? Instead, the Today Show wants to virtue signal about COVID-19 using a famous celebrity, Tom Hanks. Bull Bear Trading says the lockdown/shutdown was an entirely politically motivated, propaganda-induced panic. There never was a substantial risk to any population other than those over 75 and with multiple comorbidities. And we've seen that time and time again. Just like a typical bad flu season, total hyped up panic. This person says, I listen to the doctors who say this is all an HOAX. I listen to the nurses who say the tests aren't accurate. I listen to the families who say their loved ones did not die of COVID, but have death certificates that say they did. I do not listen to pedo-wood actors. Get bent, Hanks. And how many comments have you seen like this? Have a friend whose son passed in a car accident. They put COVID-19 as COD and told her all hospitals are doing so because the more cases they show, the more money for the hospital. Let me substantiate that. This is from Rev Cycle Intelligence. I'll leave the link in the description below. Hospital reimbursement for uninsured COVID-19 cases may total 42, not million, billion dollars. We're only going to read 2 paragraphs. In a new issue brief, researchers from the Kaiser Family Foundation estimated total hospital reimbursement to range from $13.9 billion to $41.8 billion, depending on the rate and severity of CV-19 hospitalizations among the uninsured population. So the demographic is relegated to the uninsured population. Next paragraph, that reimbursement range is based on Medicare reimbursement for hospital admissions for similar conditions, including respiratory infections and inflammations with major comorbidities or complications, which averaged $13,297 in reimbursement, and in more severe cases, respiratory system diagnosis with ventilator support for greater than 96 hours, which averaged $40,218. So the hospital is incentivized not only to receive CV-19 patients, but also to upgrade them to ventilator status. They can increase their earnings 300% just by suggesting that they go on a ventilator. $13,297 for a regular CV-19 patient and $40,218 for a ventilator patient. Again, I will leave that link in the description below so you can look it up for yourself. Well, good for him, but it's not dangerous, and most people don't even get a runny nose. He should stop trying to bully people. And the resident SJW says, Tom Hanks is a voice of reason. Too bad there are so many willfully ignorant people in the world. Roan says, let me be blunt. I don't listen to pedophiles. Jay Wilco says, wasn't he treated with hydroxychloroquine with the drug that media has decided to wage war against? And another resident SJW says, knowingly and deliberately not wearing a mask in public is the same thing as a serial killer wanting to kill people or expecting it will, since you know masks are our only defense as of now. Grow the hell up. This is not a drill. Wear a mask. Hanks had to go weeks without adrenochrome. It was horrible. See, Tom is a part of the argument. He survived it. He's an example of the 99.9% who will survive it. The argument is against shutting down an economy that kills the livelihoods of millions of Americans for a pandemic that has been highly politicized and overhyped. Didn't he fly with Epstein? Thanks, Tom. Obesity is a bigger problem. No one cares what Hollywood thinks. If Halle Berry can't play a trans person, Tom Hanks doesn't get to play a doctor. Another SJW weighs in and says, there are laws and emergency orders against not wearing masks. The people who refuse to do so are not Karen. They are violent protesters threatening lives and destroying the economy like hoodlums tossing cigarettes on dry grass during fire season. Hashtag refusing masks is violence. This is how people are thinking, guys. I'm just going to leave this right here. I'm not putting any of my opinions or assertions in this because I don't want to get another strike by YouTube. Leave your thoughts about this for the world, the Google Thought Police, and Tom Hanks in the comments section below.
The idea of doing one's part, though, should be so simple. Wear a mask, social distance, wash your hands.
If you get something out of this content and you want to support this channel, one of the best ways you can do that is by liking this video and sharing it with everybody you can, everywhere you can on social media. And if you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell notification icon so that whenever I upload a video, you're one of the first to see it. If you want to further support the channel, the Patreon, PayPal, Bitcoin, and Subscribestar links are in the description below and in the pinned comment, or you can grab one of these conversation-starting, hard-hitting designs that you can put on any shirt, hoodie, or mug from the shirt store, and that link is also in the description. Your purchase helps support more content on this channel. I will see you guys in the next heavily censored, shadow banned, and now 100% demonetized video.